And this document is about positive effects of computer revolution and how it affected us.
Warning: the footage you're about to see is real. Viewer discretion is not advised. Computers are an invention that helps adults, teens, and even children get tasks done. We use computers for research, to finish up an essay, or just for a small activity when there's nothing else to do. But the question is, how has it affected us for the good? Here we have some Arroyo students in the library during lunch. This is an example of how teens use computers as a positive thing, such as finishing up an assignment or finishing up a project with a partner. Nothing in this world could ever bring them down. Computers have revolutionized many things on the World Wide Web. Creation of social media such as Tumblr, a site where you can blog about your favorite stuff. Twitter, where you can communicate with others via tweet and visit their profiles. And School Loop, a site where students can access assignments, grades, or email a teacher. Big smile, but they haven't got a clue. Yeah, they're living the good.
How has computers affected you as a student?
Well, it's helped me excel in my academics. Like, it helps me get a lot of my assignments in on time, and it really just gives you, like, a place to, like, do your work and, like, get it done and just, like, print it out. Like, I feel it's a lot easier than just doing things in books and writing it on paper, because then you waste a lot of time, you waste a lot of, like, I don't know, a lot of, like, unnecessary thinking, I guess you could say, whereas to, like, computers, like, you don't have to worry for, like, 10 minutes about, oh, did I spell this word wrong, or does this sentence even make sense? Like, I feel like computers has definitely, like, revolutionized the way students do their work and how people learn.
How have computers affected everyday life? I think it's given us the capacity to do more, given us the capacity to get more information. It hasn't made our lives different appreciably, it just made it better.
What about the job world? How do you think that now they have to apply to the computers and stuff? Like, what's your take on that?
I think that everything is like that. Right now we're doing testing for what's called the SBAC, which is going to replace the STAR test, all done on computers, even graded on computers. You write an essay, it's graded by a computer, not a person. So everything is going to be that way. Your job is going to be that way. You may not even work in an office. You may work in a house or someplace else and work with other people by computer. So it'll change the way we work, the way we apply for work, like you mentioned. It may change the way we're assessed. So it'll change a lot of things, probably.
Steve Jobs was an entrepreneur who co-founded and was a chairman and CEO of Apple Inc. William Henry Bill Gates III was a computer programmer and inventor who founded Microsoft Corporation.
How were computers when you were young? There were no computers when I was young. When I was in high school, to give you an idea of where we are here. So when I was in high school, we came to the library. There was no computer anywhere to be found. You had to research through books and magazines and newspapers. The first computers that I ever saw were in the 80s. We got one computer here. I think 1990 was our first computer. You weren't even born then, were you? No, no.
When Steve Jobs came out with the computer, what did you think about that?
Oh, when Apple first came out with it, what makes Steve Jobs is the graphic. It's called the GUI, the graphic user interface. He changed it. Up until then, computers were huge, as big as a room, and no one ever could use them personally. One time they asked the head of IBM, do you think computers will ever amount to anything? He said, no, a few people will have them in businesses, but nobody will ever use them because they're too big. And then Steve Jobs came up with what's called the graphic user interface, which is the mouse and how you see things. Up until then, it was just geeks who used computers. But Steve Jobs just changed the world about how people use computers, made it easy for all of us.
Considering this is your sophomore year in high school, how has computers helped you in your education?
Computers have helped me in my education because it has better understanding of why you have zeros and why the teacher gave you a bad grade. In case you want to email the teacher or ask her what's going on, or extra credit, anything like that.
And that is used through what?
School Loop.
School Loop? Do you use that on a daily basis?
Yes, every day, religiously.
So you just use the computer lab for School Loop or what else?
Or for research projects, for history, or anything like that.
Okay, so what positive impact have computers had on the workplace? Communications, for one thing, like email and those types of things. It's made life easier in some ways, but it's taken away a lot of jobs. Because in the olden days, they used to all these different companies. Like yesterday was tax day, so people used to get their jobs. All their jobs was writing things, and now there's no more writing things department. Everyone has their own computer. So what it's added is convenience and ease of a lot of things, but it's also cut out a lot of jobs.
How have computers affected everyday life?
How have computers affected everyday life? Some people feel that it's sort of like the Arnold Schwarzenegger thing in Terminator. They've taken over, and that there are these evil little boxes that children look into and hold on to and stuff like that. Spend all their attention goes there. So some people feel that they've been very bad for people, and how they changed life. On the good side is they've made things a lot more convenient for people. They've added to people's lives everything from Facebook to now people record a lot of history together, and they can share things in ways that they've never shared things before.
How have computers changed the perspective on education?
How we have a computer. Every time something new comes into education, people tend to feel that that's the latest and greatest, and everything, all the old should be thrown out, sort of like babies with the bathwater. So now, for instance, the tests that we're piloting here at Arroyo are now all being done on computers. So a lot of people feel that if it's done on a computer, and computers are really smart, then they must be so much better than the old way. And some people will naturally meld or blend better with computers than others. Some people will not do so well. Like some people like smartphones, and some people just want to plain old just let me push the buttons and dial the phone kind of thing. So in education, it's the same thing. It's one more tool. It's not the answer for everything, but it's one more tool, and it's been very good for education because it's given a very helpful tool that can do so many different things. It's like opening up a new door, and now it'll challenge people to think in new ways.
What positive impact have computers had on the workplace?
We can get things done faster.
How have computers,
And spell check.
how have computers affected everyday life?
Well, there's almost nothing that isn't run by a computer now. Dishwashers run by computer. The washing machines are run by computers now. Airplanes are flown by computers. Don't need people anymore.
How have computers changed the perspective on education?
Well, I think we've had to adapt education to the fact that technology is so quick and everybody can look up things now, whether it's right or wrong on the internet. And so we've had to adapt to that. And